What's up, and welcome back to Fierce Chats, your number one podcast and go-to for it all. We discuss pop culture, emotions, and the latest trends to help you live your dream life. Now, you know the drill. If you haven't already, grab that rosé or that douce and let's chat. Here's your host, Sasha.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Fierce Chat. My name is Sasha, and if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing? Wait. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and being part of the chat. I got Courtney with me to the right. What's up, Court?
Hey girl.
I am so happy to have you.
Thanks. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Honestly, I think it's perfect. You know, Mother's Day is coming up. But before we get into all that, how was your weekend?
It was good. I ended up at a gender reveal. And
I saw that, and then I saw who it was after the fact. I don't know him though, but now I'm like, oh, okay, I see why it was real big.
It was extravagant, like very, very beautiful venue. Like they really went all out. I mean, I just met them that day.
Nice.
It was a girl.
And
because my hair is white and I had pink powder cannons, I left covered in pink, so I had to wash my hair, but it was a good time. It was really nice.
Yeah, them gender reveals are different. We went to a gender reveal a couple weeks back too, and they wore white horses.
Yeah.
They light blue.
Yeah, because it was the boy.
It was a boy.
Yeah, they gotta do something. And I had to slide my little business card.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was covered in pink. Like everything the powder was crazy. So I was like, dang, how they gonna clean that?
Man, girl, what a mess. But yeah, before we really get into, of course, the whole show, let's go ahead and break for commercials and we'll be right back. Hey y'all, I'm super excited to share with you a brand that I love called Parade. Parade is a female-owned underwear brand where all fabrics are made with recycled material. With every purchase, Parade will donate a percentage to an organization of your choice. I really love how everything is super comfortable, girl, made for all shapes and sizes, including men. So go to yourparade.com and use code shesyourfierce for 30% off your entire purchase. Now back to the episode.
People love to just limit it to Sunday. People just it's self-care, 9 p.m. No, like self-care is all day, every day. You got to take care of yourself.
You really do. Self-care is so important. And I was like, why I got to do my eye patches at home? First of all, when I put my eye patches on, by the way, Courtney, I'll have you know, the air above me dried things out. It was triple when I got off the plane.
And that's the thing. That's why you need to start a whole little line for airport. Like the mask, the air ain't right. Like nothing is. It's dirty. It's nasty. It's just a self-care protection, but also moisturizer for the plane. They need to do that.
Oh my gosh, a little kit. Mm-hmm. A little plane prep kit. Okay, I want to play a game with you.
Oh.
It's a little icebreaker game. But it's nothing really crazy. Just, just some feel good, just some little questions to get to know you better. Okay, when you were little, who was your celebrity crush?
Ooh. Okay. Two phases of little. Because when I was little, it was definitely Chris Brown.
Okay, yes, period. So, CB.
I remember going to Walmart and I was able to get the CD because it didn't have the parental advisory sticker. Walmart didn't let you just get that on your own.
Bro, yes. I forgot about those silver little stickers that said parental advisory.
Yes. And so my thing is if I'm going to be a super fan, I'm going to really dive in and I'm going to learn the lyrics and everything. And so that's back then. When they had the lyrics in the book. So I'm like, I'm like, yes, I'm going to be a Chris Brown fan. He is so cute. He knows how to dance. Oh my God, I know his birthday. I know he's from Sappahannock, Virginia. All of these things. So started off, so I would go to all the Scream tours and I had to be there.
Yep.
Then as I got a little older, I was like, dang, 50 Cent kind of fine.
Okay, drawing the line there. We're going to draw the line there.
I mean, it was something about him being a gangster. I don't know. I was in that thing. My daddy is a pastor. So, PK. So I was like, you know what? Oh my God, say you will gangster. So I memorized all of the lyrics and I was recording them from the radio, with the cassette. Every time they would play the song, I would hit record on my little cassette, and then I would just run it back until I learned the lyrics.
The kids today would never know.
They would never. They could never. They don't know the links that we went through to be fans. So
wow.
I mean, I'm still a 50 Cent fan. I'm proud of him.
Wow, that really was your crush then.
Mm-hmm.
You really made sure you knew where they from. I call myself a Chris Brown fan, but what you said, Copenhagen?
Tappahannock. And his birthday just passed. So happy belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday to Chris Brown.
Right. I hope he okay.
I'm dead. Okay, what's the sexiest quality someone can have? Or we could even make it specific.
Oh,
what's the sexiest quality about your man? Now that one.
So he was like, "Oh, you about to be all looking good, so you better mention me." So hey, babe. See you later.
What's up to you?
So I love. Like I love his like the area from like his neck to his shoulders that like kind of go into his back. It's just something about like a thick neck for me. He got the tats. And so like, normally like when people kiss, they go for the mouth. Like it's like if I'm just saying I love you, babe, have a great day, like I grab the neck and I just hit it with the neck real quick. Yeah.
Wow.
So
you know what? I understand what you mean. I feel like a thick neck. I don't know. I feel like, okay, so back in the day, I would be like, there would be girls that would like pinch men's booties and stuff. And I'd be like, why are you pinching a man's ass? There's nothing attractive about that.
Right.
Things have changed.
Listen, a lot of things
have changed. Okay.
Stuff off of cassette. A lot has changed. A lot of it'll never be like, yep.
Okay. All right. What's one thing you could eat every day for the rest of your life and never be tired of it, but still be so excited, like, I can't wait to get this?
Definitely Benihana, hands down.
Okay, girl.
Without a doubt.
Yum yum sauce or no yum yum?
None of that. Garlic butter. Extra garlic butter. Like when I tell you I love Benihana so much, like I've gone to all of the Benihanas in Florida, the 2 that's in the UK. Recently went to the one in Aruba.
Wow.
Girl loves her Benihana.
We didn't say dedicated. Oh, okay. You dedicated. Nah, I feel that way about Starbucks. But I feel like Starbucks is like, it's just drink. But no, I feel that. Okay. And dedicated. All right. What's the weirdest thing someone's ever done on a date? In the past, T-Hill, don't be coming for me, all right? We talking about the past. Past.
The past.
Okay, way back. We don't even know him. But if you did.
Okay. So this was back in college. Long time ago. Not too long. Went on this date with this boy and we sitting there, sitting across from each other, gotta have a booth, always gotta have a booth, something about the booth, you need the booth. And so like we're at the restaurant, it's like they got TV screens around, it's like a bar, I mean it's college, so it's whatever, it's like fries and burgers and stuff. So like as we're sitting there, like I'm looking at him, like trying to be like all interested and stuff, and like he's looking past me at the screens, and then I noticed like as he's trying to drink his drink, he's like searching for the straw with his tongue.
Ew.
And I was like immediately like, no. I was just completely turned off, like didn't want to talk to him no more after that. That was it. That was the first and last.
So you mean he was looking at the screen, he was like
search like
that's nasty. Ew.
I was just like,
this nasty. This that's giving anyway. All right, last question.
Yeah.
If cancel culture existed for the liquor, what liquor would you cancel?
Definitely Bacardi.
Woo! We had this conversation the other day. First of all, Bacardi tastes like pennies. And if you are, in addition to Hennessy can go along with it for me.
It can
go along with it. I don't think I'm going to be sad about it, but it definitely tastes like pennies, like you rub them together pennies. But yeah. There's that. No, I'm with you, girl. All right. Let's get into the mess. Let's hop into pop culture. All right, Courtney. I mean, I honestly, I don't know where to begin. I don't know what to say. But I was searching around on the Twitter, and I see this. A woman who posted a picture of a ring with a note underneath the ring, and it said, "Will you marry me?" And this is, like I said, this was on Twitter, and her tweet was as follows. So it's been an amazing year with my guy. This morning before I left for work, he left this in the bathroom for me to find. I said, yes. Okay. So, I'm already looking at the comments. I'm looking at what everybody has to say. And I'm like, interesting. So I cannot wait to hear what your perspective is about this. But I just feel like with dating, and most specifically, finding a man that wants to commit being a topic or a popular topic or a challenge for women. What did you think about this proposal? Just first reaction, whatever you thought.
So my first reaction was, oh, but then I'm like, you know what? If someone is proposing to someone, I would hope that they know that person, right? They know their, what they like, their ins and outs, everything that, they would want in that situation.
This is true.
So I'm like, maybe that's what she wanted. Maybe that's their jam. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, unfortunately though, we do live in a world where everyone loves a good story. Everyone wants a little bit of context when you post something. So had the situation been like, oh my God, like he just got out of a coma, like he could barely talk, he could barely write, and the first thing he did was write this and hand it over to me. Oh my God. And people gonna be like, oh my God, oh, that's so beautiful. See, if he wanted to, he would, all type of stuff.
You're right.
However, she didn't post that. She didn't. That was not the story.
It wasn't.
So now she subjects herself to a little bit of ridicule and pop.
Right.
Because now everybody feels the need to comment.
Rightfully so. I mean, what a great point. First of all, absolutely correct. Everybody does love a good story. So if we did have that context, honestly, when you were saying that, immediately I was like, you know what? Because I can't lie to you. My particular perspective didn't have all that roundabout opinion. I'm like, what the hell is this? Have you lost your mind? Sir, room? No shade, no tea. I know that sometimes penmanship is also a challenge amongst us all. Me included. I'm looking at this. This is giving, who wrote this?
And then the rips in the paper, like it wasn't like a cute, like empty, like postcard. It was like, you got this off some college rule, or maybe it wasn't even college rule. It might have been a wide rule.
I'm looking
at
it.
You just ripped it on out and you just wrote it sideways, and then it's the bathroom. It's the bathroom. So like, I know when I first wake up in the morning, I don't turn the lights on because it's just too bright. So like, did she use the bathroom first, wake up, look in the mirror, and then like, oh my God, or like, it's the bathroom. No flowers with it.
Right. Okay, so she said this morning before I left for work, you left this in the bathroom for me to find. I said yes. I said there's a little candle. I'm not impressed. The candle doesn't look recently purchased. It looks as if it's been used significantly, which is alarming. The ring doesn't look bad. The ring actually, it looks good. But at this point, because to your point, it's in a bathroom, now I want my sister to go get it appraised. I want her to check it out real quick. It could look good to the human eye, but I need someone to verify that for me. Okay.
Because he's definitely it's a thought that counts person, as you can see.
Okay. So you said that people enjoy a good story. We need content, especially for social media. So do you think that women are putting too much pressure on how something looks versus the experience of it all?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, everything is about the aesthetic. Everything is about fitting that mold. Everything is about what everyone else is doing, unfortunately. So for women, we feel the need to like show off, to compete. Like, remember that like trend on TikTok or whatever? It would, like, they'll be like holding their hand like this and then pop up with the ring.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you want to be able to like meet a certain standard,
sure,
but in a situation that you really can't control.
Right.
So it's like, how many rings out there get gifted and someone asks, a woman to be their wife and we don't get to see the ring because there's that shame behind it. And like, what does that guy feel like? Does he feel like, dang, I didn't really live up to her standard? But is it on him to have asked a friend, ask her what she wanted? I mean, it's just so much involved in that particular question.
Yeah. And that's a good point about the first that you made a little bit earlier when I first was reading this, you said that like you hope he knows her. Maybe that's what she wanted. Right. And so we don't know that. And when I sit here and I went on Twitter, like I said, and I looked through her commentary, she said she didn't realize that this would have caused such a fuss. Yeah. She was confused as to what all the commentary was and obviously clearly offended, which, you know, if it was myself in this predicament, I'd be offended as well if I was proud and, you know, to say what my man did. So maybe it is those different pressures in regards to just making sure experiences look aesthetically sound for other people. And this, I think, is good to discuss because this is where I feel like we can miss the quality guy. Yeah. We can miss the guy that really, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was talking to Julia, and you know, we were just talking about guys and all of these different things, just talking about our men and being in committed relationships such as yourself, and just kind of like I was telling her that, you know, honestly, when I met my husband, he was a barbarian. He was a caveman, you know, and like even your man, even whoever it is, and by barbarian, caveman, I mean metaphorically, needing that femininity to kind of soften out certain perspectives and certain looks at certain things. And so I feel like we could end up passing over a really great experience because of the fact that we don't realize the real beauty behind partnership. Oh, for sure. For sure. And so I wonder what your perspective is in regards to just partnership overall in a committed relationship that you've been in for over 2 years now. Over 2 years now, which is motherfucking amazing. I feel like I would say as your friend that, you know, I see you glow. I see you just looking smiling and happy. And that's just really what all I want for my girls is just to be happy and smiling, but also having a realistic view on relationships. So what would you say is like, you know, with this relationship that you're in now, what would you say that kind of comes off as the top of mind of, you know what? This was a misconception I had about this. I thought that it was supposed to look like this, but it ends up looking like that.
Ooh, yes. I mean, like you said, the word partnership, right? Like, you don't really think about the sacrifices that you would make in a partnership because in a partnership, you think, oh, everyone's equal, everything, you know, But it's really about making adjustments to fit each other's wants, needs, and desires. Like my way of learning, it could be very different than his way of learning. My way of, you know, noticing something when I walk past it, that may not be his focus because he's focused on something else because that's the way he's wired. So it's about like making adjustments, understanding, and really like pleasing. And when you're pleasing, like not just doing it to please, but also finding joy in that. Like that's our relationship has definitely taught me that like a partnership isn't necessarily I do this, you do this, but I may do this, and this to match up with that one thing that you did. So it's like therapy has definitely helped me understand men and women are definitely different. Yeah. Like that. From the beginning, like very, very different. Right. The way that I need him to show up for me looks very different than how he needs me to show up. For example, he can be sick, and you know, men's sickness, we be like, they better die. You better die. If I'm sick, I'm up doing all the things when I'm done. So it's like, I realize you're like, you know what? He needs me to be this way in this sense. Not pick yourself up, you got this, but hey babe, how can I help? What do you need? Let me hold you, let me hug you. Right. And that's not how I would like, you know, in that situation, I need him to be like, get up, babe, you got this, you keep going, because I'm not like a stay in it type person. So even something just as simple as that is like learning that if we're saying we're being each other's partner and we're being each other's piece of the puzzle in that moment, like a piece of a puzzle isn't all the same. Like they shape differently, they look differently. Good point. So that's what I've learned. It's the partnership isn't equal in that sense. It's more of how can we all just fit together? Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I really appreciate our generation for giving each other the space to figure out what that is. I feel like for me, in regards to partnership, I looked at it as not as a definition, but a copy and paste of what somebody else told me that partnership meant. And, you know, your man could be doing this at some point. But what I figured out is if we're going to have these long-term commitments, routine is cool, but people are growing.
things are changing.
Yes.
The way you needed me then is not how I need you now.
Yes.
The way you were looking at that then isn't how I'm looking at it now. And I need you to grow and move and change with me. But there's so much beauty in partnership. There's so much beauty in commitment. There's so much beauty in all of those different things. And if you can really, like you said, look at things from a different glass, maybe their perspective. At the end of the day, maybe this young man here, truthfully, no shade, no, it wouldn't be for me. It's not for me.
No.
But to your point, it could be for her, and it probably is for her. Because she said she was confused at y'all reaction. So she needs y'all to shut the hell up and let her focus on her proposal. And so in regards to that, he saw maybe it was my girl wants to get engaged. Maybe she didn't have really any stipulations in regards to how that looks. And we know sometimes we have to give them a little bit of
guidance.
Just a little bit. But again, that is the beauty of partnership, accepting somebody from where we are currently and where we're going and communicating about what that really looks like. I mean, we might not have all the answers now, but it can get better. And I think that too many people may bail out. Too many people being me, on this particular one, but I don't know, like with your person, like that, I would assume this is her person. So with your person, I can't say I would sit here. Now outside looking in, hell no.
Not for me.
Not for me.
Not for me.
Not for me. But for your person or something like that, I would be like, babe, yes, but damn, could it have been?
And those are the ones we don't see posted.
Right. Because women are like, I'm protecting this.
Exactly.
This is my space, my peace. Now, he did what he needs to do. Y'all know we're engaged. Catch us at the wedding. I'm going to take over to that. I got control on that part. Because like you said, there is no control over that. Okay. So since this episode is going to come out probably a little bit after Mother's Day, so we're going to get into some different topics about motherhood. Okay. Because in addition to you being a baddie, you're also an amazing mother, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I saw in the shade room. Good Brad and Judy. Okay, girl. The Brad and her wife Judy were in the vloggy blogs. Okay, 49-year-old Shauna Harris, aka Brad, Shauna Harris Duport. I'm sorry, Shauna Harris Duport is pregnant with her first child. Okay, so the couple announced their pregnancy. Yes, congrats to them. The couple announced their pregnancy earlier this year in February, but there's been recent reports after an interview I think that they had. Where we found out that they chose a white sperm donor. And Judy kind of, explains what that is. So we're going to hop into this clip real quick, and then I want to hear what you think about that.
It's early in the morning, but you know what? Fuck it. Let's get into it. I see all of the headlines. We did an interview with a publication, and when we did the interview with the publication, they had access to the first episode. In the first episode of Brad Loves Judy, we are in search of Black donors. So a question was asked around that because you saw in real time us trying to find a Black donor, and you saw the difficulties. There are difficulties. So there's a lot of facts in the world that people, I feel like, really don't know or are ignorant to. And that's that Black men make up 5% or less of the sperm donation pool.
In this case, I mean, they're talking about a child that's coming into this world.
Yeah.
A child who they are able, I mean, we all have the ability to choose, who our partner is and who we want to have a child with. Most of the time, most of us do. So it's like, with, like they said, like the pool being so slim of Black men donors.
Right.
And in that pool, like the joke that the brat made about like, oh, I don't look like Jiminy Cricket or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that was distasteful. However, she said what a lot of people think on a daily basis.
This is facts though.
You see somebody, you go, oh my God, we're going to have cute kids. Like, oh my God, like you're so excited. In this case, they're going to a sperm bank, choosing a donor. They're looking at all the things, physical appearance, genetics, and all of these things. Because I think had they, gone in it and they were like, oh my God, I don't want a white person. Somebody could say like, oh my God, that's racist. They want this and that. Like,
facts.
So why would we expect them to make a decision about their child based on what society feels is right? I mean, we're in this whole, women's rights thing going on right now, and we're saying people are making decisions for us. If they have an opportunity to make a decision for themselves and their child, why not pick the best opportunity that's out there? If that's available.
Right. And I agree. And I know I saw in the comments like, okay, cool, but they rich and they have access to, they could have got a private donor and all of these things. And you know what? While I do see all of those points I understand the points. It's irrelevant. I truly think it's irrelevant. I think it's mostly because, this was shared with us and we really have no business being in this. To your point, they're bringing a child into the world. However they see fit to do so, that's their choice.
Exactly.
We get into too many different details about stuff that's irrelevant. So I feel like overall, you're saying that it doesn't really matter who it was that they chose for their baby. And I think that this is so important to remember, especially for mommies, because I think that they're just like, I don't know if I was talking to you or somebody else, but I think I was like, just like you said, what society expects you to do. And I was playing with my baby. This probably was us. Anyways, I was playing with my baby. Buying some trucks or something like that. Trucks, right?
Yeah.
I love my baby. I'm obsessed with him. I want to play trucks though.
Yeah.
And I think that the assumption for even someone who is a mother or mother figure to say something like that, what are you doing? Then you don't even need, why would you even have them if this not the case? What do you think about that? Like society's pressures, especially on mothers, Black mothers, on what they're doing with their kids.
I mean, unfortunately, people feel like they have so much access to comment on what other people are doing nowadays. So it's like, unfortunately, when we post it, we give them that access. When we invite them into our private space. And so I think there's no, if you think about like drastic measures, there's no like right or wrong way to like actually parent.
Yeah.
Like if you're actually trying, you're doing everything that you can to like raise this little human. Like I think, it doesn't matter your method as long as it's like, helping them. Like people can't get into like too extreme of like, okay, gentle parenting or not so gentle parenting.
Gentle parenting, what a topic.
But right. It's like, I just think like, let people parent their children how they parent their child, as long as it's, it's safe for the child.
Right. As long as you're doing the best you can and your child is not being harmed. And I think even when you say those things, it's subjective because people have their opinion about what harm really means. And people have their opinions about whether or not your child is safe. But I just would like for the overall just pressures, one behind being a woman, a Black woman at that, but overall just mothers, that needs to subside.
Yeah.
Like real quick. It's just like, it just needs to. I know we all seen the book, like, what is it? What to expect when you're expecting?
Girl, started it, didn't make sense for me. Like, it didn't make sense. It did not apply. It was too general. And it's like, you can't, I did read, on Being Baby Wise, the sleep training book, like, and that definitely helped. I think scientific proven, like that type of stuff, it works. Because my kid was 8 weeks, he was sleeping 8 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I was not.
You're going to have to write that down for me.
I was not playing about my sleep.
What?
But like the what to expect and like all the apps, like, oh my God, your baby should be the size of a chickpea right now. Like none of those things can be generally applied because it's so different for every single person. Yeah. And I think it just also goes back to like us wanting to live up to an aesthetic. Like you want this, you want to like have this best pregnancy and it look like a certain way. You want to have this snapback that looks a certain way. Like it's different for so many people. And but again, we just put so much stress on ourselves to meet those standards. And then you have this little human here who just wants to be loved and just needs you. Don't care what you look like. Don't care what you smell like. Yeah. As long as you got what they need, Right.
No, I am so glad that you said that because I think that it's really not said enough. And I know that there are probably more things that we could deep dive on in regards to just like the stereotypes that automatically come with being a mother and motherhood. But I feel like I said, on just my podcast overall and even just the overall brand, I want to make sure that I bring on people like yourself who just have a different perspective about how we can do these and still be baddies. It's just like whole mothers, baddies, prioritizing yourself, doing what you do, have a little sip, have a little sip, we'll leave it a sip, and do whatever you need to do to make sure these babies are good, because again, by the time this comes out, we'll be celebrating Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
And like I said, just, you know what, with my little baby X, first of all, X and his personality, just overall, he's such an amazing kid.
Thank you.
He's such a good kid.
He's a teenager at this point. 5 going on 16.
Girl, he was talking to me and he'll be like, no, not right now.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Just a little human.
And I just an overall little human. But anyways, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for helping just the world overall go round. And so we're going to hop into the Just Emotions segment, which is one of my faves. But I want to start off with kind of a scary story.
Uh-oh.
All right. So, talking about motherhood and transitioning into a different type of mother is really all I would say. So, this is a little different for how we start off Just Emotions, but just stay with me for a second. Okay, so Letitia's Foch. She is a stepmother who was accused of killing her 11-year-old stepson, Gannon. A jury recently found her guilty of the murder, which was never really in question. It was never in question on whether or not she did kill her stepson. She wanted complete insanity, though. And unfortunately, was not found insane. I found completely sound and found guilty. Thank you. Some justice for this little boy.
Yes.
But kind of transitioning, even though this is another type of mother, kind of transitioning out of motherhood, just kind of talking about how the fuck, like how the hell you, and especially me as a bonus mommy, you know, I feel like these are so many things that I'm trying to like make sure that nobody would ever think that I would ever do anything ever even close. And we got people like this, but I really want to talk about boundaries and the lack thereof. And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to, you know, be completely respectful to the family, including the father. And not saying anything to discredit him being an amazing father to his son, because obviously we don't have all those different details. But what do you think about boundaries overall and implementing them and making sure we're protecting not only our kids, but maybe just ourselves?
Yeah. I mean, it's so unfortunate that this happened. And I believe on an article I read that the dad, he's like currently like with the National Guard or something. So he was like deployed when all of this was happening. So obviously this was someone, you know, this is his wife. He trusted her with, you know, the children. Yeah. And like also being a bonus mommy, like you have to think about, okay, how do I not only, you know, help this child feel comfortable, but the other parent in this situation, like how do I make sure that they're comfortable with the child being here? Like, we don't know the context, like you said, about like, where that child's biological mom was and all of this. But regardless, like, in this situation, like, the dad trusted this woman with these children. And so, like, because I feel like the jury found her, like, not guilty, guilty and, you know, not insane, but perfectly sound, like, maybe there weren't any signs, right? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. But, like, when it's a boundary of, okay, here are the things that, like, this is how we discipline, like, we should discipline our children. Because he is the parent of that child, I think that there is a way to say, okay, you know, this is what I'm comfortable with. What's your style? Like, I'm coming into this marriage with other children, but I need you to understand, like, this is my way of talking to them, speaking to them, loving them. If it gets to that point, disciplining them. Yeah. But yeah, like, even if he did set those boundaries and did do those things, unfortunately, he could not control what happened when he wasn't there. Right. And so, like, I know, like, you know, having the other children in the home, like, God forbid, like, they're now removed from the home, like, he can't have them. Like, this is just an extreme case of, like, oh my God. Right. So if there is a situation where someone can identify the signs, like, if you are dating someone who has a child, date them without meeting the child first, right? Give that an opportunity, like, test it out. Like, don't allow them to meet your child first. Like, you know, don't just, like, throw a child in there, because for kids, like, transitions are hard.
Right.
Like, these little people, like, imagine, like, that baby, like, meeting this lady, and it's like, this is my mom. Maybe they didn't gel. Maybe they didn't click.
Right.
And so it's like, you put your child in an uncomfortable situation maybe too soon. And maybe there was some back and forth, and that mom or that lady felt like she needed to do something to control the situation. But I think you have to think about when you're getting into a relationship, and I know we were talking about just, like, boundaries in general.
Right. No.
When you're getting into the relationship with someone, you got to think about what certain things impact beyond you.
Ooh.
So, like, if you have children, if you got a pet,
right.
what if this person doesn't really like dogs like that?
Right.
You got to think about, like, are they going to kick my dog when I'm not there?
Interesting.
So you got to really get to know somebody, but also think about how that person will impact the other people in your life.
Yeah.
Who matter, you know, like, and who actually will, you know, be around that person.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good point to bring up, especially in regards to just overall, even if you take the steps, right? You can't mitigate everything. Life is just be lifing. And even if you are trying to do your best to protect yourself, and in this case, also your child. But anyways, I was just saying how you cannot prevent yourself from just life, even lifing. And to me, this brings me to relationships overall. Even the first topic here in pop culture about, you said trusting, and you said boundaries, and you said knowing, and you said communicating and seeing and all of those different things. But I feel like those are a lot of different things that I'm recently learning based off of knowing more about myself. Do you have any, like, how do you feel? What do you feel? What steps do you feel like you've taken to learn more about you so that you can make sound decisions for not only yourself, but for your child as well?
Definitely therapy, number one.
Therapy.
Love my therapist. She comes from the cognitive, like, neurological, like, behavioral perspective of a lot of things. And so we're constantly on top of, like, how can I prepare you for, you know, next week? It's, all right, we're doing these exercises. How do you react in these situations? What does that mean if you react this way? How do you process things? How do you deal with things? Like,
interesting.
How do you communicate? So I'm learning, you know, what all of that means for me. And in turn, I'm able to be a better partner, able to be a better parent, because I'm like, learning more about me helps me be the best version of me for all of those around me, even at work.
Yeah.
You know, I work remotely, but it's like, how do you come off behind a computer screen, right?
Interesting.
Like, so therapy is definitely, like, the number one thing that I have used to learn more about myself.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think I've even had people ask me, like, okay, so you're doing therapy, but, like, are you going to be doing therapy long term? Like, you can't just, you know, you don't have you're not getting the tools from this session and then be done and know how to apply it. And you depend on your therapist. And I don't know if that's an opinion across the board about therapy, but I definitely want to break that stereotype in regard to just therapy overall and using your therapist as, like, a crutch or something like that. And if you do need to use your therapist as a crutch, life is crazy.
Yes.
There's so many different things that go on with life. And if you need to lean and it doesn't mean that you don't have people around you where you can do those things. But if you need to lean in a place where you're like, I don't need you to know not one thing about what's going on, and I feel safe for doing that. I think for me, I've learned that really that safety came from me not being able to say those things to myself.
Yeah.
And that's really why I wasn't able to find those type of, like, comforts in other places or friendships and things like that. Yeah. But therapy?
Yeah.
My girl?
Yeah.
She gonna hear from me every Tuesday.
Yes.
11 a.m. And I ain't gonna miss it.
11 a.m.
Thursday. It's just a perfect time. It's a good time, a good little hour set. And most of the time, you know, I mean, for me, I don't know what everybody's experience is. I'm just talking. I'm also listening to myself. Yeah. And you said a good point about how you react to stuff. And I will say that I know, and I've mentioned a few times on my channel about not recognizing toxic behaviors that I have. And me being, first of all, Team Sash, 100% Team Sash.
Yes.
And so, but then being like somebody calling me toxic, that don't match me.
No.
That's not how I label myself. So I understand that what happened wasn't what you were expecting it to be, but don't label me as toxic. Don't give me a label that I don't label myself. But like I said, I think that's a really, really good point because I realized that in certain spaces, I was a little bit more comfortable being maybe confrontational with other people and not even realizing that. Do you feel like you've had like either, maybe different conversations with people and didn't realize what your tone or positioning was and how you kind of like have, figured out how to approach different people in different ways?
Definitely. It's definitely one of those things. It's like, if you respond turned up, you're going to get a turned up response. And so it's like being able to be like, hey, this is not what we're doing for myself.
Yeah.
And in the conversation. Like,
yeah.
Hey, we don't speak to each other this way. Like,
right.
This is not, we know what's going to happen because you go high, I'm going to go higher. Like, so it's like, no, let's take a moment in the moment and realize like, this is not going to get us anywhere. This is not how we respond. So therapy has definitely helped me calm it down. Because it's like, I don't know my intention.
Right.
I don't know how to push that button or what to say. Yeah. It's not right.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my intention. I had every intention on being petty when I said this.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Right.
You just helped me understand that it was going to work again. And so that's not okay. And knowing that that's not okay and finding a better way to communicate has definitely been like a conversation saver, a relationship saver, just in getting the point across in a better way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What I'm hearing you say is overall communication.
Communication.
That's crazy because everybody be saying that. They be like, communication is key and da 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 da. And it's like over communicate, but it's like, is it over communicate? It's really not. It's just that what I've learned across the board just about relationships is that, of any kind, whether it's with my man, with my friend, is that you have to be able to discuss. And it doesn't have to look a certain way. I'm a Virgo, I'm a perfectionist. If I'm going to come and talk to you and be like, Courtney, you hurt my feelings? Yeah. I want to be like, hello, Courtney. Today, I experienced this, and I feel like the response to that wasn't what I was, come and take you on a full-fledged conference, because I feel like I learned that, growing up, that most of the time when we talking, it's a conference call. Yeah. And that pressure made me not want to speak to people because I felt like I couldn't just talk to them, that it had to be a certain way. So I love that. All right, babe. So outro game first. And I have asked these questions before, but I like to get a little impression, a little spicy. Okay. Just, you can do yes or no, or you could expand. Headless sex or sexless head?
I saw when you extended it.
I want to know what's going on with y'all.
We can do sexless head.
Why? Actually, I think Tuss said the same thing. I think she did say sexless head. Headless sex. No head sex. No whatever. You could have sexless.
Yeah.
Head. Okay, yeah. We can do that.
I mean, because there are times where it's just like, you don't need all the other stuff. And we can just get that done and we be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. Have you ever had a one-night stand?
In the sense of like it being someone you don't know? No. I'm too much of a germaphobe. But it being a one and done? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not somebody I don't know. It's just,
Yeah, no.
Even before COVID.
Nah. Nah, I'm with you because I'm definitely a germaphobe as well. And it's enough for me as well.
Yeah.
All right, last thing. Have you ever had a crush on a friend's man before?
Hell no.
I just think this shit is nuts to me.
I mean, Rihanna could be my friend in a different life. And when she was dating Chris Brown back before all of that stuff, he was my crush.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like, homegirl, no. Because when my homegirl's like, everybody got their own.
Yeah, I agree.
Amen.
I agree. I felt like I would hear about this all the time because I didn't really have a lot of girlfriends in high school like that. But that was a personal choice. But I would just be like, girl, why are y'all fighting over this man, first of all? And then when I got into with my real friends, I'm like, he's your man, but not in any shade. That's your man. Right. That's not necessarily what I would choose. But that's why I got my man and you got your man.
Exactly. Yeah, never been even a close situation where it was like, he's for you. That's for me. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord it wasn't that situation. I mean, that's you don't want that on you. You don't come back from that.
Yeah, you really don't.
You don't have many friends beyond that at that point. Like, that man is now, if y'all end up staying together, like, he all you got, because nobody else can trust you. Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah, no, I would never. I don't want that life either. I don't really know how it's just like, of all the dick, you chose somebody you knew.
You know what? That was prominent back in the day. Like, and you see it like on shows like This Is Us and stuff. It was like something happened with like the wife, and then the homeboy or the husband and the homeboy step in, and then they get married. Like, that used to happen a lot back in the day. And I just don't understand how they allowed that to happen. Because you're like, that was my dad's best friend.
No.
Like, now y'all married and it's okay because he would want this? No.
Is that the same thing as like Larsa Pippen and Michael Jordan's son?
I don't know what the hell going on over there.
First of all, that's just not gonna last.
It's giving too much of an.
It's giving too much.
No, that's not safe. Like, I couldn't imagine it being a situation where you was at the house and you saw this baby being a baby, and you at the dinners and the functions and this baby debuting, and then now 20, 30 years later,
oh hell no,
y'all together?
That's not.
It just doesn't. Mm-hmm. It really doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Larsa. She did do a lot of different little things, and so apparently she gives the appearance up. You know, she possibly could be younger, I guess, on that part. Other than that, I mean, this is wild. It's gross. It's almost giving incest, but
almost, pretty much. It's real close.
It's very close.
Very close.
And she's just like, we're so happy. You're okay with like your ex-husband, and they used to play together, and you saw the back, and you saw somebody, you saw his diapers. You probably changed one.
Ugh. Like, if I was his mama, we had to see each other outside. Like, sis, so you mean to tell me you was a predator? And I had, like, at that point, like, we got to talk about it.
Girl.
Because ain't no way.
Nah, we got to talk about this. Maybe we can talk about next episode, like another episode about, I don't even know, maybe. I know there's an overall stereotype about age differences and what's appropriate and what's not. But at some point, I think that if you have boundaries, morals, and goals, even if he fine, he cute, nah, you ain't got it. You know,
partnership.
You ain't got it.
It's about having someone who can give you what you need. And I just, it don't add up.
We'll look back.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this week's spotlight. Okay, in this week's spotlight, I try and make sure the spotlight is for my girls, of course. But anyways, this week's spotlight, it's Body Restore. It's a lavender calming aromatherapy for your shower. It's a shower bomb. I feel like it's cool because I was kind of a little bit apprehensive. I don't really use bath bombs all the time like that anymore. I know they was all the rave. We was really getting into them, but we can give reasons why we don't want to get into those like that. But anyways, this is a lavender shower bomb. It has essential oils. It helps you feel revitalized, recalibrated, and just feeling your overall personal best. So I'm going to link this as usual in the description below. You guys will see this in our Amazon storefront. But as we said, Court, we really got to make sure we take care of ourselves.
No, for real. I've definitely used shower steamers, and it's like, I got the eucalyptus going in the shower. So I'm really for like the aromatherapy of it all. It's just, be sure that you don't have it directly on the drain because it's literally just going down the drain. Like, offset it a little bit so it's getting wet.
Yeah.
But it's like steaming up.
Oh.
Tried that the first time. I was like, oh, that was money literally down the drain. But yeah, just offset it a little bit so it like has time to steam. But yeah, I highly recommend. And it's not getting inside you.
Okay, great. That's the major point there. I'm with that. Okay. Courtney says, make sure that you put your shower bomb a little bit aside from your drain so that all your particles don't fall down directly. Okay. Yeah. You'll have 2 seconds of steam if you do that. You'll have
exactly a little bit longer.
2 minutes, baby. But anyways, this has been such a good conversation. Yes. I thank you so much for coming on to Fierce Chats. We really love this, and we hope that you come back, come see us.
Thank you.
You have the pink vibes going on right now, but like I said, we may have a little bit more pink. But anyways, we can get into some other different spicy topics whenever you loop around. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Awesome. Well, anyways, guys, like I said at the top of the show, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, thank you guys so much. We hit 500 subscribers. Yes. And I am so excited. I'm so happy about this. And I just appreciate all of you guys. I will be doing a little giveaway. It's probably going to be a Sephora gift card. You know, keep it cute, keep it mute, and send it off to you guys. It's a little appreciation. Thank you so much. But anyhow, we will catch you guys in the next one. Bye. If you got it, it ain't a fraction.